The sun is out, it's 100 degrees, and winter is fucking here. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, click on another video, because today, kids, the Bro Force Squad is reviewing Season 7, Episode 1 of Game of Thrones. I'm your host, Matt Geiger. Alongside me today, Brian Hodor Banner. And I guess our little finger, Ronnie Cycli, since he's our legal counsel.
Hey there.
Well, do you have a whorehouse? Because that'd be fucking awesome if you did.
But I never partake for some reason. I guess I'm above that.
If you're new to us because of Game of Thrones, welcome. If not, you know we grade everything on 5 criteria. But for TV shows, we're doing a little different. We're knocking out rewatchability and just going with acting, story, best scene, and impacts on the rest of the season. So, acting. I'll throw it to you, Mr. Banner.
I thought everybody did a really good job in this. I think Arya Stark, first off, I'm impressed with this. I have no idea what any of the actual actors' names. So we're just going character names today. Yeah. The actress that plays Arya Stark, I thought she was very, very strong in her scenes. She really, over the course of the series, you've seen her grow, and she really made her presence felt as far as, look, I'm this bad bitch, and when she said, this is spoilers heavy, guys. When she said, yeah, I'm going to kill the queen, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, she's going to go kill the queen. What about you, Cycli? Who stood out to you?
I definitely agree with you. I'll go with Jon Snow. And I think for me, Kit Harington, of course, it wasn't that he always acts well. But I think the change in this season for me was he was a king in this episode.
Yes.
You know, he was making the tough decisions. The way he said, the way he changed from last season, Battle of the Bastards, struggling with all of that. All of a sudden, he's like, nope, I'm the guy. My word is law. He was firm. He was just, and you just saw the transition in his character saying, this is my situation. I'm living with it. I'm going to do what's right. And it was phenomenal to see. He was fantastic.
I'm glad you guys left the cherry on top for me. Ed Sheeran. Just fucking kidding. What the fuck's he doing in here? Does anyone want to just see him brutally murdered?
No, I mean, he did his part well. I agree. He was fantastic.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Hound. Because his character development has been great in the last 3 seasons. And now he's almost, sad for what he's done whenever he buried that wife and kids or whatever. I think that he killed with
father.
Yeah. That was fantastic, and he's just, whenever he saw the light, whenever he's looking in the fire and he could see what was coming, his character is just turning a ton. He's kind of believing in different shit than he thought before, and
he doesn't even know what he's believing in.
Yeah, he doesn't even know, and he's almost turning good, may I say. I just can't wait for him versus Mountain, because I think that's still gonna fucking happen.
It's definitely happening. Did anyone think, though, for a half a second, the way his character is, that he's going to look at the logs and halfway through be like, I'm just fucking with you guys?
I thought he was, but then he was, whoever the actor was doing it very well, because you could definitely see that he was, like, seeing something. All right, moving on to story, because Game of Thrones does 2 things well, and that is total nonstop fucking action, but then they set up shit so well, better than probably any TV show ever, and this was definitely a setup episode for every single character. So, Banner, story.
First off, they bookended this episode better than they have done in any other episode. Opening scene and the last scene, which we'll get to best scene here in a minute, but that is what was in the middle was just straight up, look, shit is going down and this is how it's going to, like, they basically told us what is going to happen. You've got people are going to be fighting from the east, north, west, south. I did those backwards, but all of those places all at once. People are coming. You figured out how people are going to get from one place to the other. Now we just have to wait and see for it to happen. Again, continued developing characters throughout the story, and they had awesome conversations. Like, one of my favorite conversations was the one between Jon Snow and Sansa.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic conversation about, like, basically him saying, look, I'm king, don't undermine me, but I'm going to take your opinion. We're still family, but yet we're going to headbutt, even though they're not family.
I can see a Sansa evil turn soon. I'm just waiting for that, and I think
100%.
Littlefinger's going to be behind it. Ronnie Cycli, story.
So, fun fact about your point right there about Sansa turning evil. I read this online. I wish this was an original thought. She is wearing the same exact hairstyle as Cersei in season 3, episode 1. And John,
she did say she learned a lot of stuff from her.
Yeah, and it sounds like you admire Cersei. He said that. So I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but I can definitely see Sansa having some darkness in her. In all honesty, I love this episode. I don't think it's, I don't think people want to listen and just like we're just going to praise it. It was a slower episode, especially after that epic opening scene. It was a lot of setup. My thing was, so I'm going to criticize the few times ever I thought there was a plot hole. Dragonstone just completely abandoned. I mean, no family, no one went to that epic castle. Not even talking about a peasant. Like, if I lived in that town as a peasant and I knew a castle like that was abandoned, shit, you'd find me sitting on that throne.
Yeah, there's people living on the streets and just a nice mansion right by the ocean. I mean, you think a realtor there could move that.
Right. That's a nicer castle. In all honesty, I mean, maybe you can criticize this. That's a nicer castle than King's Landing. That was a nicer throne room than King's Landing. Shit, I would have no problem having my kingdom in Dragonstone, yet no one was there for as long as Stannis was gone. I'm not going to criticize the show. I love this show, but I don't want to sit here for 20 minutes and just praise it. That was a little off to me.
In the show's defense, I think if you pause at the right time, you can see a Keller Williams sign right on the front lawn. They're trying to move it. It's priced way too high. In that market, come on. No one lives there anymore. It used to be nice. It's the bad side of town now. Okay, best scene. For me, I thought it was Sam just cleaning shit because I hate him. But can we agree that whoever's making Game of Thrones just wants us to stop watching? They killed off Robb Stark. Momoa's not there anymore. They cut off a man's penis, and now I got to see a dude shoveling shit. He's like, dude, just quit watching this show. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, dude, I've been waiting for a year and a half just to watch a guy just shit in a bucket 8 times. What was your guys' best scene?
Not only that, but like there was literally 45 seconds of shit.
You're thinking we get it, man. We get it. His job sucks. We get it.
That entire scene was nothing I've ever seen out of Game of Thrones. My wife and I were watching it. She looked over and was like, "This is not even feeling like Game of Thrones for that 45 seconds."
Cycli, what was your best scene?
I think this is. It's hard. It's not hard. It's just like unfair to say because everyone's going to agree. That opening scene.
Absolutely.
You can't. I don't think there's going to be a dispute with this one. That opening scene, iconic. Just Arya wrecking shit. Revenge on the phrase. They're all dead. That whole house dead in one scene. And what a way to open this season. I can't think of a better opening.
Banner.
I'm going to go with the last scene when Daenerys Stormborn is walking through Dragonstone, walking through that epic castle. You see it all. You're like, oh, shit, she's going to sit on that throne. And then she goes over into that war room, sits in front of the fucking table and goes, let's get started.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, she is not fucking around. She's ready to go. Let's do this. We're going to fuck some people up.
The throne don't mean shit. She wants to kill everybody. All right, lastly, impacts on the rest of the series. Cycli, just to take off your best scene, which that was actually my favorite scene too, but it rose some questions for me. For me, being such a big Jason Momoa fan, I was wondering, since Arya kind of brought him back from the dead since she killed him, could we see Ned Stark return? Could we see Jason Momoa return? Could we see Robb Stark return where Arya, is with the mini face god? That was the impact on the rest of the series for me. Because that just brings up a ton of questions. Could we bring back actors that is actually Arya Stark? Like, wouldn't they shit if, Ned Stark just fucking walked to King's Landing and they're just like, what the fuck? You've been dead for years. That was my biggest one. After that scene, I just started thinking, I'm like, can we bring back some of these actors that I've missed so much from season 1, 2, and 3? What about you, Vanner?
I think that based on Jon Snow and Sansa Stark's conversation, I don't think everything's going to be kosher there forever. I think they're going to end up fighting. I think that they're going to end up on opposite sides of a line. At some point, a line is going to be drawn in the sand. They're going to find each other on the other side, and then what are they going to do? And I think they're going to fight. I don't know if they're going to kill each other, but they're definitely not going to be on the same side because I think they each have ulterior motives here, and they each have different things that they want to see happen, and that's just not going to be possible with the way that this show goes. So I'm very interested to see how that dynamic and that relationship grows.
Cycling.
I don't mean to extend time, but I'm curious, Banner, like, where do you see, like, Sansa joining with Cersei or, like, something less dramatic than that?
No, I think, well, what I actually think is that Jon Snow and Daenerys Stormborn are going to team up, and Sansa Stark is not going to like that because she is a Stark. Well, Jon Snow we know is Targaryen, right? Well, the Starks and the Baratheons, fought against the Targaryens. So she is so old school. She didn't want to forgive those kids whose older brothers fought against the Starks.
So Ramsay.
How is she going to feel about having to fight with the Targaryen? So now she's going to go against the Targaryen.
Cycling, what was your impact for the rest of the season?
So for me, Bran crossing the wall. And if we remember from last season, the Night King touches his arm, which means he can access places that the magic had prevented him from accessing before.
Mm-hmm.
Him crossing the wall is meaning to me, and I think a lot of people I've read online, that means now the Night King can cross the wall. And that is the defining moment in what the Game of Thrones has been building up to all 7 seasons. He doesn't cross that wall, Night King might not be able to cross it. But because he has, well, we're in for the battle that they've been building up to the whole time.
It's a fantastic show, guys. Please make us your go-to after you watch any seasons. Tweet at us any questions you have. We'd be glad to answer them at Broforce Squad on Twitter. We're also on Facebook, Broforce Squad Podcast. Broforcesquad.com is our website. Subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube. For Matt Geiger, Ronnie Cycli, Brian Banner, we will see you in or around the wall.
Let's get started.